Okay, so this is the new TOS class for criminal evidence or sa evidence natin na subject. So ito yung susundin natin or ito yung gagamitin nila pagdating sa August 2024 examination. So nakalagay dito ang mga important sa terminologies and topics na dapat natin i-discuss or dapat malaman ng mga examinee before sila mag-take ng subject na to or ang area na to. So of course, we have under 5.1 or on number one class, recall the important terminologies like evidence. So dapat ma-define natin what is evidence, the proof beyond reasonable doubt, the substantial evidence, preponderance of evidence, the equipoise doctrine or equipoise of evidence, and equiponderance of evidence class. So actually yung mga topics na yan, yung 5.1, some of that we already discussed, di ba? Na-discuss na natin yung iba dyan. So then, of course, dito mauulit na naman sa evidence. Mas maganda yon. Kasi nga, specifying niya under the new TOS, yung mga lalabas or posibleng lalabas class under the evidence or under the criminal evidence. Then 5.2, we have to identify the evidence according to forms. Of course, isa-isa natin yan. The kinds of evidence, yung documentary, object, and testimonial. Then yung klase, the classes of evidence na tinatawag natin. Of course, we have the different classes of evidence, di ba? So, yung ibigay ko sa inyo mamaya, yung acronym na meron tayo when we are studying the classes of evidence from the kinds of evidence. Then, of course, 5.4, to illustrate the rules of admissibility of evidence in general. So, paano ba tinatanggap or ina-admit yung evidence in the court or in the courts? Of course, we have the relevancy and competency. Please make sure na off yung microphone yung class. Ako na lang. Okay, so from time to time, please off your microphone para hindi maka-distract sa atin or sa akin din sa mga kasamahan natin dito. So again, 5.4, illustrate the rules of admissibility of evidence. 5.5, explain the manner offering of evidence and their objections. Paano ba ino-offer ang evidence class in court? Sino yung mauna? So paano mag-object? Discuss the rules of presenting documentary. Paano pinipresent ang documentary evidence. Then explain the sufficiency of evidence. Okay, paano natin malaman that the evidence is sufficient or not. Okay? So yan yung tinatawag natin class na TOS or Table of Specifications under the new TOS class for August 2024 CLE. So kahit magte-take kayo ngayong August or hindi, some of you hindi makahabol sa filing or magka-problema man, kapag February 2025, still yan pa rin ang gagamitin natin na TOS class pagdating ng February 2025. Na nakuha ninyo? So kahit anong year man kayo magte-take ng CLE, so same pa rin ang TOS na tatalaya or na gagamitin nila. So ito yung TOS natin. Okay, nakuha? Okay, so next tayo, we will try to explain or to memorize muna or to master muna yung tinatawag natin class na rules of evidence. Again, tandaan nyo, ang rules and criminal procedure palaging nagsa-start yan or nagsa-start yan palagi sa tinatawag natin na sorry. Nagsa-start yan palagi class sa rule 1 to ay nag-end sa 1 to 7, tama ba? Yun yung ating criminal procedure. 3 pabram, pretsud, laps pro, or yung provisional remedies in cases. So doon nag-end or ang ating criminal procedure. Kung doon again, dito naman magsa-start sa rule 1 to 8 ang tinatawag natin class na evidence natin. So again, we have the rule 128 to rule 134 na tatawagin natin class. So wait lang. Okay, again, ang rule 128 and rule 134, that is the duration or yan yung coverage class ng ating evidence. Okay, so of course, we have the 7 rules of evidence natin. 7 lang yan sila class, unlike sa criminal procedure. Ang dami, di ba? Ang daming, ang dami nating kailangan i-memorize. Wait lang. bakit yan? Ano to? Hindi ano. So, yeah. Okay, again, ulitin natin. So, under the criminal procedure, we have that a lot to study do. Pero kapag sa evidence naman, konti lang yan. So, hindi siya masyadong marami kung pagbabasihan natin. Kasi ang evidence natin, that is only from Rule 128 to Rule 134 class. So, of course, 7 lang yan. So, 7 rules of evidence natin. So, ang 7 rules of evidence, kailangan natin yan ma-memorize or ma-master. So, we have the what we call the acrostic ang tawag natin dyan. Again, so we have the acrostic under the revised rules on evidence class. So acrostic ang tawag natin dyan yung great women ruled are born to pack when peak. So again, ang tawag natin dito is acrostic. So ayan, great women ruled are born to pack when peak. So that is yung first letter dyan class. Lang yun, yan yung palatandaan ninyo kung anong particular rule yan under the evidence. Okay, so ayan ginagamit na actually ito kapag magbo-bar exam. So yung rules and criminal evidence natin or in evidence, so great women ruled are born to pack when peak. So pwede mong makunin rin yung kanyang first letter. So halimbawa, yung sa G, di ba? So sa great. Tapos yung W, women. Yung R naman, ruled. Yung B, born. Yung P naman, pack. W naman, when. Then of course, yung P naman is yung tinatawag natin na peak. Okay? So that's why we have the 7 rules of evidence class to be exact. So ang tandaan nyo lang dyan palagi, according yung gamitin, the acrostic. Of course, this is original by Cream Coach Philippines. So of course, we have the great women rules are born to pack when peak. So that is a tested formula class to master the 7 rules of evidence. Madali lang yan. So yung rule 128 natin, of course, class nagsa-start sa letter G, di ba? Nagsa-start sa letter G, that's why tatawagin natin yan na rule 128 natin is the general provision. Okay, yun yung mga general provisions natin. Then yung rule 129, magsa-start sa W, yan yung mga tinatawag natin class na what need not be proved. Okay, again, yung rule 129, that is what need not be proved. Yung mga hindi natin kailangan i-prove sa korte. Then rule 130, magsa-start sa letter R. Yun yung tinatawag natin na rules of admissibility of evidence. So again, yung rule 130, that is the rules of admissibility of evidence class. Yung letter B, yung rule 131, that is the burden of proof and presumption. Yung rule 132, yung fact, that is perpetuation of witness. Then rule 133, yung W, that is the weight and sufficiency of evidence. Then yung P or yung P, that is the perpetuation of testimonies class. So again, ang evidence natin, magsa-start yan sa Rule 128 to Rule 134. Ang procedure natin, mag-end yan sa Rule 127, yung provisional remedies in cases. So magsa-start ngayon ang evidence natin sa Rule 128. So again, 7 lang ang rules of evidence natin. Actually, konti lang yung yung ating coverage ng evidence. But of course, we will explain that one by one. So again, ang 7 rules of evidence natin para ma-master ninyo. So we have the acrostic, ang tawag natin dito, great women ruled are born to pack when peak. So GW, RBP, WP. Of course, pwede nyo balikan yung previous ko na lectures na doon rin yan. So again, yung G, that is general provisions. Yung W, what need not be proved. Yun yung mga bagay or mga evidence na hindi natin kailangan i-prove sa korte. Yung Rule 130, Rules of Admissibility of Evidence. Rule 131, Burden of Proof and Presumption. Rule 132, yung nag-start sa letter P, Perpetuation of Testimony or Witness. Rule 133, Weight and Sufficiency of Evidence. And Rule 134, that is Perpetuation of Testimony. So we have the GW, RBP, WP class. Okay, that is the 7 rules of evidence. Nakuha ba? Nasundan ninyo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so dapat balikan nyo lang mamaya yung ano natin video sa Telegram. Okay, para ma-master nyo. Of course, yung sa previous season ng review natin, so pwede nyo balikan doon. Inulit ko lang actually yung mga discussions natin. Okay, so I hope na master niyo yan, yung 7 rules of evidence natin. Okay, so Walang reason na hindi ninyo ma-master yan kasi ang dali. Nandiyan na yan, oh. Great women ruled are born to pack when peak. So, of course, class, we will discuss that one by one. So, let's proceed sa next slide natin. O bakit hindi siya maano? Okay, so of course, we have the different sources of our revised rules on criminal evidence or on the evidence class. So we have, of course, una dyan palagi is the rules of court that is from Rule 128 to Rule 134. So that is the source of evidence. Then, of course, our Constitution, specifically our 1987 Constitution, that is the second one. Pangatlo, we have the special laws, yung mga special laws na crafted by our Congress or sa mga lawmaking bodies natin. Then, of course, we have the RPC or the Revised Penal Code, that is the general law. Then we have the Civil Code of the Philippines. That is, ang Civil Code of the Philippines, class, we have the Republic Act 386. That is the counterpart class of the Revised Penal Code. So, our Republic Act 386 or the Civil Code of the Philippines. Then, of course, the different jurisprudence or yung mga decided cases. Then of course, we have the Supreme Court circulars. So, yan yung mga sources of our evidence class. Again, ang sources of evidence natin, please familiarize this one. Okay, so familiarize ninyo ang ating rules of evidence kasi last February, ang tanong doon is the sources of our criminal law. So, malay nyo, this time or sa August, baka ang itanong nila is the sources of evidence. So again, ang sources natin from rules of court, from rules 128 to 134, the 1987 Constitution, the special laws, the RPC or tinatawag natin na general law, the revised penal code, then of course the civil code, the counterpart of the RPC in the Philippines. So again, ang civil code in the Philippines is Republic Act 386, the different jurisprudence, and of course the Supreme Court circulars. Okay, nakuha ba? So familiarize that one. So yan yung mga sources of our evidence class. Then of course class, isa-summarize natin ang evidence. So ang evidence, it is a part of both substantive law and adjective law. So explain natin yan is what ano yung difference between substantive law and an adjective law later on. Then of course class, tandaan niyo ang evidence is the same in all courts. So again, ang evidence natin is the same in all courts, whether it is in criminal, civil, and of course in the administrative cases. So yan yung tinatawag natin na evidence class. Then ang three kinds of evidence natin, we have the DOT, the DOT, yung letter D that stands for documentary, followed by the object, and of course the testimonial. Minsan, ginagamit natin na acronym dyan is the orthodox class, OR, of course, some of you already know this one, orthodox. Okay, mahirap kasi magsulat dito sa ano kapag sa Zoom eh. So again, orthodox class, ibig sabihin, yung O that stands for object, ang object evidence, tinatawag din natin minsan na real evidence or minsan tinatawag pa natin yan na autoptic preference. Okay? So yan yung tinatawag natin na real object or tinatawag natin minsan class na autoptic preference or autoptic reference rather. Then of course we have yung TO, of course we have the testimonial. Minsan tinatawag natin ang testimonial as an oral evidence. Okay, again, ang minsan kaya tinawag tayo, we come up with TO. So testimonial or oral evidence. Then of course, ang pinaka-last natin dyan class na kind of evidence or kinds of evidence is DOC, that is the documentary evidence. Okay, again, pag sinabi natin kinds of evidence, so we have three. We have the orthodox, pwede rin DOT. Okay, so again, we have the DOT, we have the documentary, object, or testimonial. Or parang hindi ka malito, kung ano yung other terms ng mga specific evidence natin or kinds of evidence natin, mas maganda na tandaan niyo yung orthodox natin. Okay, so ang orthodox, so we have object, minsan tinatawag natin yan na real evidence, or minsan tinatawag natin yan na autoptic reference. Then we have the TO, the testimonial. Tinatawag natin yan minsan na testimonial or oral. Then, of course, we have the last, the documentary. So that is the three kinds of evidence natin. Okay, nakuha na? So then, of course, mamaya isa-isahin natin yung distinction between the three kinds of evidence. Then, of course, kung meron tayong kinds of evidence, meron na tayong tinatawag class na, okay, the classification of evidence. So, ang classification of evidence, okay, so yan yung tinatawag natin na different. Tandaan nyo, class, ang kinds of evidence is different from the classification of evidence. Ang classification of evidence, we have the acronym here na ginagamit. So, of course, we have the DC COM4, PRESEC, PRECON, PONY. So, mamaya, class, ipamemorize ko rin yan sa inyo or sundan ninyo yung dinidiscuss ko. Kasi pag sinabi nating DC, dalawa yan, dapat i-ano kasi natin yan by group or by pair para hindi kayo mawala. So, pag sinabi nating DC class, yung DICI, bibigyan ko yan ng brief explanation or background. So, ang DC, yung DI, that is direct evidence. Ang kapartner niya is circumstantial evidence. So, kaya nagkaroon tayo ng DC, direct, and of course, the circumstantial. Si COM naman is cumulative and corroborative evidence. Again, cumulative and corroborative evidence. We have PRESEC. Ang PRESEC naman, class, ibig sabihin yung PRI, that is primary and secondary evidence. Yung PRECON naman, that is prima facie or prima facie. Then, of course, we have the conclusive, ang kanyang kapartner. Then, of course, we have the PONY. Ano naman yung PONY, sir? Ang PONY, positive evidence and negative evidence. Okay? So, yan yung mga tinatawag natin na different classification of evidence class. So, we have the DC COM4, PRESEC, PRECON, PONY. Ibig sabihin yung DC, direct, circumstantial, cumulative and corroborative, primary and secondary, prima facie and conclusive, and of course, we have the positive and negative evidence. So, mamaya, isa-isahin natin ano yung pagkakaparehas, ano yung mga similarities and differences ng ating classification of evidence as well as yung kinds of evidence class on the next slide. Okay. So, of course, class, dito na tayo magsa-start sa tinatawag natin na Rule 128 under sa general provision. Okay, so under the general provision. Of course, dyan sa general provisions natin, class, dyan natin i-define ngayon ang distinction or ang definition, class, ng tinatawag natin na evidence. Okay, mamaya i-discuss natin dyan one by one kasi sa definition pa lang ng evidence, malalaman mo na ngayon ang tinatawag natin, class, na distinction nila. Or actually sa definition pa lang ng evidence, posible na kumuha sila ng 5 questions doon kasi hindi malayo kasi nandun na halos lahat. So under the Rule 128, of course, that is the general provision. So dyan na rin pinag-uusapan, class, ang tinatawag natin na factum probandum and factum probans. Tama? Very important to. Yung factum probandum and factum probans. So yan dyan rin pinag-uusapan ang tinatawag natin na factum probandum and factum probans. Okay, so ang tanong natin ngayon, so under the factum probandum and factum probans, ano yung title ng dalawa na yan under the rules of evidence? Saan yan magpo-fall? Okay, saan magpo-fall yung dalawa na yan? Anong title meron sila, class? Okay, saan magpo-fall ang factum probandum and factum probans? Okay, so hindi yung definition ang hinihingi ko I mean, saan yan sila na belong? Anong title ang tawag natin dyan? Okay, anong tawag natin doon? Okay, so meron bang sagot dyan? Okay, very good si Berto Daso. Ang tawag natin sa dalawa na to, class, tandaan nyo, ang tawag natin dyan is the two matters of facts. Okay? Matters of facts ang tawag natin dyan. So we have the factum probandum and factum probans. So of course, nandun na yan sa definition ng evidence natin. The two matters of facts. So tandaan nyo lang, class, kapag na-encounter nyo ang term na factum probandum, of course, that is the ultimate facts. Doon kayo mag-start or doon kayo mag-base sa letter U. That is the ultimate facts to be established. Then ang factum probans naman, that is the evidentiary facts. So meaning class, ang factum probandum, that is the facts na kailangan natin i-establish. Ang yung factum probans naman, yun yung pamamaraan or it is the manner of proving the said facts. Okay, nakuha ninyo? Ulitin natin. Pag sinabi nating factum probandum, that is the facts to be established or that is the ultimate facts to be established. Then, of course, pag sinabi natin factum probans, that is the manner of proving the said facts or basically, ano yung evidence or ano yung ebidensya natin, class, to prove or to establish the facts in issue. So again, ang factum probandum and factum probans, ang tawag natin dyan, are the two matters of facts. So again, ang factum probandum, the ultimate. The factum probans naman, that is the evidentiary facts natin. So, magbibigay ako ng example, kasi of course, alam nyo lang is the definition of the matters of facts. Pero hindi nyo alam when it comes sa application niya, di ba? So, halimbawa, ganito ka sa board exam. Sinabi niya, X killed Y using a sharp bolo. Again, ganito. X killed Y using a sharp bolo. So, ano doon, class, ang tinatawag natin na factum probandum? Okay, what is the facts to be established? Again, ulitin natin. X killed Y using a sharp bolo. So what is the factum probandum doon? Okay, what is the facts to be established? Okay, ano yung facts na kailangan natin i-establish, class? On the comment section, please, para mabasa ko. Okay, again, sabi niya sa scenario, X killed Y using a sharp bolo. So what is the ultimate facts or what is the facts to be established doon? Okay, so ano yun, class? Okay, so meron na tayong sagot dito. Okay. Killing using bolo. Sharp bolo. Sure kayo, class? Ang hinihingi natin is the ultimate facts. So what is the ultimate facts doon? Sure kayo? Again, X killed Y using a sharp bolo. So ano ngayon doon ang tinatawag natin na ultimate facts or the facts to be established? Okay, ano yung facts natin, class, na kailangan natin i-establish? Okay, parang nakaano na ako, nasa ibang planeta. Malamig eh. X and Y, sir? Hindi. Wala akong nakitang tamang sagot. Okay, again, sinabi niya, X killed Y using a sharp bolo. So, ano ngayon yung tinatawag natin na factum probandum or the facts to be established? Okay? Ano yun? Ang tinatanong ko palang, class, is the is the factum probandum doon sa question na yun or sa scenario na yun. So, dapat wag mo na kayo yun mo lang sagutin nyo. Okay, ang factum probandum doon, class, is that X killed Y. Okay, ganun lang kadali. Okay, again, ang factum probandum doon is X killed Y. Nakuha ba? Again, ang factum probandum doon is X killed Y. So ano naman ngayon, class, ang evidentiary facts na magpapatunay or the matters or it is the manner of proving that really X killed Y. So yan yung papasok ngayon sa tinatawag natin na evidentiary facts. So ano yung evidentiary facts, class? Na tinatawag natin na X killed Y using a sharp bolo. Ano yung evidentiary facts natin doon na magpapatunay na X really killed Y? Okay, of course, class, using a sharp bolo. Okay? Using a sharp bolo, that is, of course, the evidentiary facts or that is the manner of proving the said facts. Again, ulitin natin sa scenario natin kanina, sinabi natin that X killed Y using a sharp bolo. So, ang kanyang tinatawag natin na factum probandum doon or the ultimate facts to be established is X killed Y. Kailangan natin i-prove yun na si X, pinatay niya si Y. So, paano natin mapapatunayan yun? Oh, of course, using the evidentiary facts, which is factum probandum. So, ano ngayon ang factum probandum doon, sir? Using a sharp bolo, of course, mapuprove natin ngayon, or that is mapuprove natin yung said facts na pinatay ni X si Y. Okay? Ganun lang kasimple, class. Nakuha ba ninyo? Nasundan ninyo? Yun yung tinatawag natin na factum probandum versus factum probans. Again, yung sa X killed Y, yun yung tinatawag natin na factum probandum. Yun yung kailangan natin patunayan or establish na si X pinatay niya si Y. Paano natin mapatunayan yon? Using, of course, yung tinatawag natin na evidentiary facts or the evidence that will prove the said facts na X killed Y. Nakuha ba? Nakuha ninyo, class? Nasundan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige. Oh, ayan. Naunin? Bakit naunin? Nakunin siguro to. Okay, sige. Let's proceed now. Of course, class, meron tayong tinatawag na issue. Okay, di ba? Of course, maraming issue na nangyayari, no? Sa inyo rin, di ba? Kahit sa barangay ninyo, di ba? May mga issue kayo na buntis or halimbawa, kabit ka ni mayor daw, kabit ka ni congressman, and so on. So, yun yung tinatawag natin na issue. Okay? So, yan yung tinatawag natin na issue. So, pag sinabi kasi natin issue, class, of course, that is the point or points in question. Kapag there's an issue, class, kapag hindi naman yan totoo, of course, kailangan natin i-clear ang pangalan natin. Diba? Of course, kailangan natin na i-point yan or i-question yan kung saan nang galing or saan nag-originate yung issue na yan. So kapag there is an issue, sabihin, yan yung kailangan i-resolve, class. Kaya kailangan natin ng ebidensya or kailangan natin ng evidence na magpapatunay or that will establish na nagkasala ka ba or tama ba or mali yung issue na yan. So, of course, class, ang tandaan niyo pag sinabi nating evidence, di ba, it is a medium or it is the means or yung pamamaraan by which a fact is disproved or proved. Okay, yan yung gamit kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng pag-offer of evidence or kaya may evidence tayo or kailangan natin patunayan yan ang kung nagkasala ka or hindi. Kasi nga, yung evidence, ito yung means or it is the medium of the law by which a fact is disproved. Ibig sabihin, pabulaanan yan or hindi mo ginawa yan or hindi nangyari yan or prove na totoo yung sinasabi. So that's why very important yung tinatawag natin na evidence. So mamaya i-explain pa natin doon. So again, ang proof naman, of course, ano naman yung proof, class? Of course, kapag kailangan di ba natin ng proof para patunayan na tama yan or mali yung allegation sa iyo or yung issue. So, of course, pag sinabi nating proof, that is the result of the evidence. Again, tandaan nyo lang, pag sinabi nating proof, that is the result of the evidence. Okay, very good. Okay, si Martin at si ano. So, again, tandaan nyo, pag sinabi nating proof, that is the result of evidence. Nakuha ba? Okay, so yun yung tinatawag natin na proof or result of evidence. So, of course, class, sa tinatawag natin na rules or general provisions, nandito yan, paloob rin, yung tinatawag natin na, okay, dito ba? Okay, next slide tayo. Okay, so again, ang factum probandum, that is the facts to be established. Then ang factum probans, that is the manner of proving the said facts. Okay, ano lang, para repetition. Kasi repetition is the mother of all learning. So dito, class, sa Rule 128, meron tayong tinatawag na kinds of evidence. So again, ang kinds of evidence natin, class, meron tayong tinatawag na orthodox. Tama? Orthodox. Okay, orthodox. So, of course, we have ang una dyan. Yan yung kinds of evidence, ha? Tatlo lang yan sila. The kinds of evidence. So, ang object, or tinatawag natin minsan na real, or minsan tinatawag natin na autoptic preference, or autoptic reference rather. So, ang object, or tinatawag natin na real evidence or autoptic reference, so that is directly addressed to the senses of court. Again, tandaan nyo lang palagi, kapag sinabi nating object or real, that is uh, directly addressed to the senses of the court, class. That is the object evidence. Then, of course, class, yung mga object evidence na yan, yun yung mga object or those are things that consist of tangible things exhibited or examined by the court. Yan yung tinatawag natin na object or tinatawag natin na real or autoptic reference. Nakuha ba niyo? Again, ulitin natin, ang pinakaunang kinds of evidence is the object or real or tinatawag natin na autoptic reference. So basically, tandaan nyo palagi, it is directly addressed to the senses of courts, and of course, that is consist of tangible things. Ini-exhibit sa korte, ini-examine sa loob ng korte, or tinitingnan or binabuild yan sa loob ng korte class. That is the object or real evidence or autoptic reference. Nakuha ba? Okay. Then of course, we have the TO. Ang TO naman class, of course, yung tinatawag natin na testimonial or what we call the oral evidence. Pag sinabi nating object, pag sinabi nating testimonial or oral evidence, of course, basically class, ang testimonial class, it is not only limited sa tinatawag natin na orally, okay? So kapag yung mga affidavit natin, yung affidavit natin class, in a form of written, papasok pa rin yan sa tinatawag natin na testimonial or oral. Nakuha ba? Nasundan niyo class, again, ang testimonial evidence natin, tinatawag rin natin yan na oral, it is not only limited sa tinatawag natin class na testimony. It is also applicable class sa written, yung mga affidavits natin. So papasok pa rin yan sa tinatawag natin na testimonial or oral evidence. Nasundan niyo? Nasundan? Paki-confirm muna.
Yes, sir.
So again, ang testimonial is not only limited to what we call the testimony of the witness. It is also applicable class sa mga affidavit. Okay? So papasok pa rin yan sa tinatawag natin na testimonial evidence. So tandaan nyo lang, kapag nabanggit sa board exam or pinag-usapan sa board exam, ang testimonial evidence or oral, so it is basically consists of narration of facts. Ibig sabihin, isasalaysay niya ngayon ang mga pangyayari or ang nangyari class. Okay, deposition or deposition of a witness. Ibig sabihin, ang nasaksihan niya, isusulat niya yan, papasok pa rin yan sa tinatawag natin na testimonial or oral evidence. So, tandaan nyo, again, ang testimonial or oral, it may be in a form of narration of facts. Ina-narrate niya ngayon orally. Of course, lalabas sa bibig niya. Then, of course, pwede rin sa tinatawag natin through deposition of a witness or isusulat or yung i-affidavit niya. So, again, ang testimonial or oral, it may be in a form or it may be orally or written. So, that's why yung tawag natin doon is testimonial or oral evidence. Then, of course, ang pinaka-last na kinds of evidence, kasi tatlo lang sila, of course, we have the documentary evidence. So, ang documentary evidence, basically, that is consists of writings, materials, symbols, and letters, or numbers, or kahit figures na, no? So, yun yung pinaka-importante. So, yan yung tinatawag natin na documentary. Matatawag natin class na documentary class kapag ino-offer yan or it is offered as a proof of their contents. Ibig sabihin, ang question doon class is sa nilalaman ng document. Again, ulitin natin, kapag ang yung mga any writings, materials, figures, and symbols, it will be offered as a proof of their contents. Yan yung tinatawag natin class, papasok yan sa tinatawag natin na documentary. Kapag in-offer natin yan, yung content ng document. Tandaan niyo class, sa tatlo na documents na yan or the three kinds of evidence, ang tinatawag natin, yung tinatawag natin class na the weakest order of evidence class. Again, the weakest order of evidence is tinatawag natin na documentary. Bakit sir siya yung pinaka-pang-last palagi or siya yung pinaka-mababang value sa tinatawag natin na kinds of evidence? Bakit siyang pinakamababa? Kasi of course, basically, pwede siyang ma-doctor, pwede siyang ma-alter, pwedeng madagdagan, pwedeng mabawasan. That's why under the hierarchy, okay, so very good, si Moico, pwedeng ma-falsified, tama yan, Robin. Okay, so ibig sabihin, pwedeng ma-falsified, pwedeng ma-doctored yan, pwedeng madagdagan, pwedeng mabawasan. That's why under the hierarchy of evidence, ang tinatawag natin na documentary evidence class, it is considered as the weakest order of evidence. Nakuha nyo? Again, ang documentary evidence natin, it is considered class as the weakest order of evidence. So dito class, sa tinatawag natin na documentary evidence, of course, di ba, tinitingnan natin dito, kapag in-offer natin yan as a proof of their contents, ang nilalaman, papasok yan ngayon sa tinatawag natin na documentary evidence. Tandaan nyo class, ang documentary or ang document is different, ang kanyang definition from criminal law, then iba rin ang definition niya sa tinatawag natin na forensic science. Nakuha ba? Kasi ang definition ng document class under sa forensic science or under the question document examination to be specific. So ang nakalagay doon, it is the letters, symbols, or figures. Ang purpose niya is to convey message to someone. Again, ang definition ng document sa forensic science, it is any letters, symbols, figures that will convey a message to someone. Ibig sabihin magparating or gusto niyang iparating yung message sa iba. Okay, that is what we call the definition of document under the question document examination. Kapag sa criminal law naman, ang documentary evidence or the document, any letters, symbols, or figures, or numbers that ino-offer yan as a proof of their contents. Ang question doon sa nilalaman or contents ng tinatawag natin na document. Nakuha ba ninyo? So kaya class, mag-iiba yan kapag ang document natin or pagdating sa korte, ang document, ang question niya is based on the existence na merong document na gano'n. Ibig sabihin, nag-i-exist ba ang document na yan? Kapag ang tanong ng korte or kapag ang question is based on the existence of the evidence, ang sagot doon class is the object or real evidence. Papasok yung document na yon. Again, kapag ang tinanong sa board exam or ang question is based on the existence of the evidence, ang magiging sagot doon ay papasok yan sa tinatawag natin na object or real evidence. Nakuha ba? Pag ang tanong naman is on the content of the document or nilalaman ng document class, papasok yan ngayon sa tinatawag natin na documentary evidence. Again, kailan papasok sa object evidence ang document? Kailan papasok ang object evidence sa documentary evidence? Nakuha ba? Ulitin natin. Kapag ang tanong sa board exam or ang tanong ng korte or the question in the court is based on the content of the documents, again, ang tanong doon is based on the contents of the document. So meaning class, ang sagot nyo doon or ang papasok yan ngayon kapag sa contents or ang nilalaman, papasok yan ngayon sa tinatawag natin class na documentary evidence. Okay, again, it will be regarded as a documentary evidence. Pag sinabi naman natin, ang question niya is based on the existence, kung meron ba tayong tinatawag or meron ba tayong nag-exist ba ang particular document na yan. Kapag nag-exist ang particular document na yan, kasi nga existence ang tinatanong, papasok yan ngayon sa object or real evidence. Nakuha ninyo?
Yes, sir.
Nakuha. Okay, so yun nakadali yung tinatawag natin na distinction between the two. Kapag tinanong niya is on the contents, ang sagot doon is documentary evidence. Kapag tinanong niya naman based on the existence, kung meron yung ganong document na yon, papasok yan sa real object or a topic reference. So I hope nakuha na ninyo ang distinction kasi ang board exam, hindi lang dapat alam ninyo ang definition ng terminology or yung mga terminologies natin. So that's why class, okay? So ibahin natin mamaya. So yan yung tinatawag natin class na rules 1 to 8 about sa general provisions natin. So again, pag sinabi nating factum probandum, ulitin natin that is the facts to be established. Factum probans, yan yung mga tinatawag natin na manner of proving the said facts. Ang issue naman, that is the point or points in question. So of course, pag sinabi nating proof, that is the effect or the result of the evidence. So yun yung kaibahan niya sa tinatawag natin na pag sinabi natin issue. Ang issue naman, that is the point or points in question. Okay? So yan yung tinatawag natin class na rule 1 to 8. May question ba kayo dyan? So of course, yung mga question ninyo, sasagutin natin yan one by one later on kasi of course, i-explain pa natin na mas detailed dito sa ano natin ka sa evidence, okay? Dito tayo. Okay, of course meron tayong tinatawag class na quasi-courts. we have the quasi-courts class. Of course, pag sinabi natin quasi-courts, they are not actually courts, but they conduct trial and hearing. So again, meron tayong tinatawag na quasi-courts, so they are not actually courts, but they conduct trial and hearing. So ang tawag natin doon are quasi-courts. Halimbawa, yung COMELEC on election-related cases. So of course, may kapangyarihan sila to settle cases in their own capacity. So ang tawag natin doon is quasi-court. Then the NAPOLCO, pwede rin siya mag-conduct ng trial and hearing. Halimbawa, kapag mga hearing police officer na involved. Okay? Then of course, we have the Securities and Exchange Commission or the SEC. So of course, papasok rin yan sa yung tinatawag natin class na quasi-courts or the the Security and Exchange. Of course, we have
Sir, question.
yes, what is for question?
Yung nasa gitna, sir, judge po ba yun, sir? Ano yung hawak niya na parang, ano, sir?
Sige, wag na ay iano na natin yan sa court testimony. Sige, sagutin ko na lang. Yung hawak ni judge, of course, that is the gavel, yung parang hammer. Ang hawak ni judge class is the hammer or the gavel. Of course, that is parang parang martilyo. So ang gavel class, it represents the authority of the judge or the power of the judge in court class. Ang tawag na rin doon is the gavel. Again, nire-represent yan ng authority or nagre-represent yan ng authority ng judge. Gavel class ang tawag natin doon. Kapag naman yung pinupukpukan niya na bilog, ang tawag natin naman doon is anvil class. Okay? Anvil and gavel. Ang gavel, yun yung parang, ang gavel, that is it represent class ng authority ng judge. Yung pinupukpok niya, kung saan niya pinupukpok, ang tawag natin doon is anvil. Ang spelling ng anvil, A-N-V-I-L. Okay? So, anvil and gavel. Actually, class discussion yan na tinatawag natin ng court testimony. Okay, so maintindihan nyo yan kapag as we go on with our discussion. So, actually, nandun na yan sa court testimony na discussion ko sa previous lectures last season. So, pwede nyo makita doon. Again, ang quasi-courts class, they are not actually courts, but they conduct trial and hearing. So, yan yung tinatawag natin na quasi-courts or quasi. Okay, that is correct. Okay, yung pag-pronounce. So, tama yan. Okay, tandaan nyo class. So, dito tayo. Okay, so again, i-define natin ngayon ang definition or ang distinction or tinatawag natin na definition of the term na evidence. So again, ang evidence class, unahin natin, it is the means. So again, pag sinabi natin evidence, it is the means or ito yung pamamaraan or ito yung tool or ito yung pamamaraan na ginamit or sanction by these rules or sinabi class or inoblige ngayon ng rules of courts natin. Again, pag sinabi ng evidence, it is the means sanctioned by these rules o ito yung pamamaraan na inoblige ngayon ng tinatawag natin na rules of court or particularly the rules of evidence. Then, pag sinabi natin rules of evidence class, sinabi niya ascertaining in a judicial proceeding. So, ibig sabihin na our rules of evidence class is solely applicable sa tinatawag natin na judicial proceeding. Ibig sabihin sa loob ng korte. Okay? Hindi siya kasali class or hindi siya applicable sa tinatawag natin na quasi-judicial bodies or quasi-courts. So again, ang evidence natin, ascertaining a judicial proceeding, so that is applicable sa mga courts natin. Outside of that, hindi natin pwedeng i-apply doon. Kasi ang judicial proceeding or ang by judicial power lang class, that is only vested sa mga korte through the court judge or through the judge. So that's why class, wala silang tinatawag yung kahit yung mga COMELEC, meron silang karapatan to conduct trial and hearing, but they do not possess yung tinatawag natin na judicial power. Pag sinabi kasi natin judicial power, that is the authority or the power of the judge or the court to hear, try, and decide cases. So basically, it lies only or it is vested only sa mga trial court judges natin. So again, ang evidence natin, it is the means or pamamaraan sanctioned by these rules of ascertaining a judicial proceeding. Ibig sabihin, yung evidence natin, class, that is only applicable in a judicial proceeding or sa loob ng korte. Bakit nag-o-offer tayo ngayon ng evidence? Ano yung purpose na bakit nag-o-offer tayong evidence? Of course, the truth. At the end of the day, or ang pinaka-focus class kung bakit nag-o-offer tayo ng evidence is to know the truth. Yung katotohanan, of course, Kapag malaman natin ang truth or yung katotohanan on that particular case or the issue, so malalaman or makukuha natin ang hinahanap natin na justice, okay, the truth. Then of course, we have respecting a matters of facts. So paano natin malaman yung katotohanan? Of course, we have the two matters of facts, di ba? So we have the factum probandum, that is the facts to be established, or that is the facts to be established, that is factum probandum, or the ultimate facts to be established. Then the factum probans naman, that is the evidentiary facts to be established, or it is the manner of proving the said facts. Okay? So yun yung kaibahan ng factum probandum and factum probans. So again, ulitin natin, dapat na-master yung klasa kasi sa definition pa lang, pwede mo nang makuha or pwede mo nang malaman or pwede ka nang makuha actually dyan ng tanong. So pag sinabi nating evidence, it is the means sanctioned by the rules of court, or ito yung pamamaraan na sinabi o na inoblige o na required ng rules of court, or specifically the rules of evidence. Then ang evidence natin that is applicable in a judicial proceeding. Ibig sabihin sa loob ng korte. Kasi again, ang court, the trial court judge lang ang nag-focuses or merong karapatan or merong tinatawag natin class na judicial power. So pag sinabi natin judicial power, that is the power or that is the authority or that is the power granted to the court or to the judge, of course, to the trial portion to conduct trial, to settle cases, or to settle cases and actual controversies. So yan yung tinatawag natin class na evidence. Okay? It is the means sanctioned by these rules of ascertaining in a judicial proceeding the truth respecting a matter of facts. That is evidence. Nakuha ba? Okay? So, yan yung tinatawag natin class na evidence. Okay? So, yan yung definition ng evidence class. Dapat, first things first, dapat alam nyo pa rin or alam nyo talaga or na-master nyo agad-agad ang definition pa lang ng subject matter or yung subject ninyo. So, before kayo mag-proceed doon sa pinaka mga complicated na explanation natin. Kasi, as long as you basta alam mo yung concept, 'di ba? Alam mo yung principles, lalo na sa criminal law, wala kang magiging problema doon kasi yun lang naman at yun ang doon mag-evolve, 'di ba? Alam mo yan i-apply, so much better, 'di ba? Kasi application is very important pagdating sa board exam. Then, tandaan ninyo class, ang scope ng evidence natin, they are the same in all courts and in all trials and hearings. Again, parehas yan class. Or applicable yan in all trials and hearings or in all courts, except as otherwise provided by law or these rules. So parehas yan in criminal cases, in civil, and in administrative cases class. So yan yung scope or limitation or kung sino lang or saan lang applicable class ang evidence natin. So of course, we have the admissibility of evidence. So we have the relevant to the issue, then not excluded by these rules. So una klase, explain natin what is the relevancy. Okay, relevancy or relevant to the issue. Pag sinabi natin that the evidence is admissible, kasi nga it is relevant, kapag it is connected to the case and issue. Again, matatawag natin na relevant ang evidence kapag it is connected to the case and issue. Ibig sabihin, it is related to the case and issue, hindi nalalayo. Yan yung tinatawag natin na relevant evidence. Okay, ibig sabihin, it is in relation to or it is connected to the facts in issue. Yan yung tinatawag natin na relevant evidence. Then of course, we have the competent evidence. Ang competent evidence, matatawag natin that the evidence is competent when it is not excluded by the law or of these rules. Again, matatawag natin class na that the evidence is competent when it is not excluded by the law of these rules. Paano natin malalaman, sir, na it is not excluded? Ibig sabihin kapag not excluded, pinatanggap siya ngayon ng korte. Nakuha nyo? Again, pag sinabi natin relevant evidence, it is connected to or it is what we call in relation to the facts in issue. Pag sinabi naman natin competent evidence, kapag ang evidence is not excluded, ibig sabihin kapag not excluded, pinatanggap siya ngayon ng law or ng rules of court natin. So, of course, ang relevant evidence, ito yung mga evidence which is having any value or importance in relation to or in the reason of that is to prove any matter which is connected to the issue. So yan yung tinatawag natin na relevant evidence. Nakuha ba? So ano ngayon ang kaibahan class or ano ngayon ang kabaliktaran ng relevant evidence? Again, ano ngayon ang kabaliktaran ng relevant evidence? Okay, so what is the opposite class ngayon ng relevant evidence? Ano yung kabaliktaran niya? Sige, what is the difference or what is the distinction of relevant evidence? Unrelevant, okay, walang unrelevant, wala ring, mali. Okay, so irrelevant. Okay, so wala tayong, pagtandaan nyo klase, kapag sa rules of evidence or kapag ang subject nyo is evidence, there is no such thing as irrelevant evidence. Okay? Ano ang tawag natin ngayon sa opposite ngayon ng relevant evidence? Ang tawag natin doon, class, okay, wala po tayong irrelevant ha. Ang tawag natin doon is collateral matters. Okay, nakuha natin? Again, ulitin natin, pag sinabi nating opposite ng relevant evidence, ang tawag natin doon is the collateral matters. Okay, relevancy or the collateral matters. Okay, again, ang opposite class ng tinatawag natin na relevant evidence is the collateral matters. Ang collateral matters, that is the evidence on the collateral matter shall not be allowed. It is not acceptable except when it tends in any reasonable degree to establish the probability or improbability of the facts and issues. So in a simple words, class, matatawag natin or kabaliktaran ng relevant evidence is the collateral matters. So kapag ang collateral matters, class, hindi yan tinatanggap sa loob ng korte or it is not allowed kasi nga it is not connected to the case in issue. So yan yung ka-opposite, class. Yan yung kabaliktaran rather ng tinatawag natin na relevant evidence. So, ang tawag natin doon is collateral matters. Again, ang collateral matters that is not allowed kasi nga there is no reasonable degree of probability or probability to the facts and issue. Ibig sabihin, there is no connection or walang connect or wala siyang relation ka sa tinatawag natin na issue. Nakuha niyo? Again, based on the admissibility of evidence, dalawa yan, relevant evidence and competent evidence. Matatawag natin that it is a relevant evidence when it is connected to the case and issue or when it is what we call connected or in relation to the facts and issue or to the case and issue. Matatawag naman natin that the evidence is competent when it is not excluded or it does not excluded by the law or by the rules of court. So, ibig sabihin, kapag masabi natin na it is not excluded, it is accepted or tinatanggap siya sa loob ng korte. Then, pag sinabi nating relevant evidence, the opposite of that is not irrelevant ha. Ang tawag natin doon is collateral matters. Ang collateral matters, yun yung mga kaso or yung mga kaso, class is or yung mga ano na yan or mga evidence na yan is not connected to the case and issue. So basically, it is not allowed to be admitted in court. Okay? So yan yung tinatawag natin na collateral matters. Nakuha niyo, class? Nakuha ba? Nasundan? So,
Yes, sir.
okay, ganun lang kadali ang evidence, no? Kung titingnan mo, basic ang evidence, class. Kung na-simplify ng maayos sa inyo, di ba? So, ganun kadali, di ba? So, yun pala, ang kabaliktaran pala ng relevant is collateral matter. So that's why, yun yung maganda na ano ninyo, i-review ninyo. Okay? So, yun yung tinatawag natin na, okay, dito tayo, class. Okay. So, first class, we already discussed this one, ang three kinds of evidence. Again, ang orthodox. So, again, ang documentary, kanina hindi ko kasi na-flash, no? Ang documentary, of course, that is any writings, materials, pero ang purpose ng class, that is offered ngayon as a proof of their contents. Ibig sabihin, ang nilalaman niya. So, again, ang nilalaman ang palaging tinitingnan natin doon. Kapag it is offered as a proof of their contents, ang nilalaman ngayon, sorry, ang tinitingnan natin kapag documentary evidence. Magiging object evidence kasi yan kapag in-offer natin yan or ang question of the court or ang question is based on the existence of the document. Kapag existence of document ang pag-uusapan natin, papasok yan ngayon sa tinatawag natin class na object or minsan tinatawag natin na real or autoptic preference or autoptic reference. So dito class sa object real or autoptic reference, so of course that is addressed to the senses of court and it is considered as the highest order of evidence. Again, yung object natin, it is considered as the highest order of evidence. So yung mga object evidence na yan or real class, it is examined or it is introduced doon sa loob ng korte. So then, of course, we have the testimonial evidence. Ang testimonial evidence class, yes, ano natin class, ang object or real that is the highest or minsan tinatawag na rin na the strongest among the three or the kinds of evidence. Siya yung pinakamakapangyarihan class or siya yung pinakamataas. Then of course, we have the testimonial naman or tinatawag natin na oral. So that is the true narration, ibig sabihin yung salaysay niya, or deposition, ibig sabihin i-put into writing, okay, yung mga sinabi niya or magkakaroon siya ng affidavit. So again, ang testimonial or oral class that is not only limited to the oral or to the narration of facts. That is also applicable class. It may be an oral or written. So ang written, pwedeng deposition or pwedeng yung tinatawag natin na affidavit. Kapag yung sinabi niya or yung mga salaysay niya, isusulat niya yun, i-put into writing niya, then of course, i-affirm lang yan. So again, ang testimonial natin, it may be in a form of orally or in a oral or written. So that is testimonial class or oral. So again, that is the three kinds of evidence na meron tayo. May question ba kayo dito sa three kinds of evidence? Kung hindi nyo pa naintindihan, so para ilagay nyo lang, mag-type lang kayo dyan sa comment section para basahin natin. Okay na?
Clear, sir.
Okay, sige. Okay na pala. So, mas maganda yon. So, again, we have, of course, please identify. So, halimbawa, kapag sinabi nating affidavit, saan pupunta yan class na tinatawag natin na kinds of evidence? Again, una dyan, pakilagay sa comment section. Si affidavit class, saan pupunta? Pumili lang kayo doon sa may documentary, object, or testimonial. Saan papasok si affidavit class? Again, saan papasok si affidavit? Okay, again, saan papasok si affidavit?
Testimonya po, Coach.
Okay, very good. So, of course, ang affidavit class or affidavit that is considered or papasok niya ngayon sa tinatawag natin na testimonial. Okay, so again, ang affidavit natin class, papasok yan sa tinatawag natin na testimonial. Okay, of course, sinabi ko kanina, ang testimonial is not only that is not only limited to oral or yung tinatawag natin na narration of facts. Papasok rin yan or it is also applicable sa tinatawag natin na written. Okay, so yan yung testimonial natin. Nakuha ba? Again, testimonial, papasok ngayon ang affidavit natin. Nakuha ninyo? May violent reaction ba dyan? Wala naman. Okay, again, ang affidavit natin, papasok yan ngayon sa tinatawag natin na testimonial or oral. Okay na? Okay, so yan. So, I hope clear na sa inyo. Then, of course, we have the lapida. Sino nakakita ng lapida class? Lapida. Okay, ang lapida, of course, di ba, kapag namatay, nandun na yan. Okay, yung pangalan, yung date na pinanganak, then of course, yung kamatayan or yung ano niya. So, saan na papasok ngayon, class? Kapag ang question na is yung lapida lang, lapida. Lapida alone na. Okay, saan papasok ang lapida? Okay, kapag ang lapida class, of course, papasok yan sa tinatawag natin na documentary evidence. Okay, again, pag sinabi natin lapida class, papasok yan sa documentary evidence, yung content. Okay? Again, dalawa actually ang sagot doon. Kapag ang content ng tinatawag natin na lapida, papasok yan sa documentary. Kapag naman ang existence ang tinatanong class, object evidence. Nakuha ninyo? Dalawa ang sagot natin. Kapag kapag ang question is based on the existence, or ibig sabihin na merong lapida, that is only object evidence. Nakuha ninyo? Kapag naman ang question is yung content ng lapida class, or ang question is on the content of the lapida, that is papasok ngayon sa tinatawag natin na documentary evidence. Nakuha ba? Ulitin natin. Kapag ang tanong or kapag ang question ng korte is based on the existence of the lapida, papasok yan ngayon sa tinatawag natin na object or real evidence. Kapag ang tanong niya naman is based on the content of the lapida, yung nilalaman ng lapida class, papasok yan ngayon sa tinatawag natin na documentary evidence. Okay, nakuha na? Okay, good. Okay, so dalawa ang question doon. So dapat of course specific kayo kapag nagsasagot kayo doon sa sa board exam kung anong tinatanong niya, yun lang yung sagutin ninyo. Okay? So yan, lapida. So next tayo. Then of course we have the marriage contract. Okay, how about marriage contract class? Saan papasok ngayon ang marriage contract? Kapag ang tinanong niya is on the existence of marriage contract. Okay, again, kapag tinanong niya is on the existence of marriage contract, saan papasok yan? Again, patapusin niyo muna ang tanong bago kayo sumagot, don't rush. Sa board exam, wala na bang umahabol sa inyo? Okay, again, ang tanong ko is ang marriage contract on the existence of marriage contract. Ang tanong sa korte, kung meron bang marriage contract na nag-i-exist. Okay, again, ang tanong niya is on the existence of marriage contract na merong nag-i-exist na marriage contract. Saan yan papasok, class? Okay, so yan, pasagutin natin yung iba. Okay, again, saan papasok ang marriage contract kapag ang question niya is based on the existence or ang tanong, meron bang marriage contract yung kinasal na to? Okay, so meron bang marriage contract on the existence? Of course, papasok yan sa tinatawag natin na object evidence. Nakuha ba? How about naman, kapag ang question naman ngayon sa korte or the question naman is based on the content of the marriage contract, saan naman ang papasok yan? Again, ulitin natin. Saan naman papasok kapag ang tanong ngayon is on the contents of the marriage contract? Kanina, ang tanong doon, may existence ba or meron bang marriage contract na nag-i-exist? Of course, ang sagot doon is object. Kapag ang tanong naman yun ngayon sa korte, mag-iba naman ang sagot ninyo. Kapag ang tanong naman is based on the contents of the marriage contract, saan naman siya papasok? Okay. So yan, ang gagaling ng mga students ko, di ba? Okay? So yan yung tinatawag natin class. Papasok yan ngayon sa tinatawag natin na documentary evidence. Okay? Nakita nyo na ngayon class kung gaano ka complicated ang board exam. So nakita nyo na, no? So palagi mo sinasabi that board exam is basic, di ba? Basic ang board exam. Hindi man yung mga estudyante, ay sir, sa'yo basic pero sa amin ang hirap. Magiging basic yan class kapag alam mo yung concept. Ay, may ganun pala kapag existent na sa question, mag-iba ang sagot. Kapag contents, mag-iiba rin yung sagot. So, ganun talaga class. Dapat alam mo yon kahit anong pasikot-sikot nila, ang tanong nila, masasagot mo yon. Okay? So, yan yung tinatawag natin na marriage contract. Wala pa daw other term ang documentary. Wala po class. Wala. Okay? Kasi binibase kasi natin yan sa rules of court talaga or the rules of evidence. Kapag evidence, rules of criminal procedure naman, kapag procedure ang pinag-uusapan natin. Okay? So, wala siyang other or also known as or otherwise known as. Nakuha ba? Nakuha ninyo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so yun. Okay. Bakit tayo gumana yung ating first? So, ginagamitan ko kasi ng ganito para hindi na magano. Okay, class. Of course, class, we have the affidavit that is testimonial or deposition. Of course, lapida, documentary kapag yung tinatawag natin is contents, kapag ano naman, existence naman, magiging object. Ang marriage contract, kapag existence, object, documentary naman kapag on the contents of the marriage contract. Okay? So, ganun class ang ano natin, ang rule natin palagi. Okay. So ano naman yung tinatawag natin class na ayuta of evidence? Okay, ano yung ayuta of evidence? Okay, again, what is ayuta of evidence? Okay, ito, yung una. Pakilagay sa comment section, then titingnan natin kung tama kayo. Okay, again, what is ayuta of evidence? Okay, again, what is ayuta of evidence? Pakilagay nga muna sa comment section, ayuta of evidence. Okay, so how about others? Hindi kayo familiar sa tinatawag na ayuta of evidence? Okay, pag sinabi natin ayuda of evidence, very good. That is the small amount of evidence or minsan tinatawag natin yan na enough evidence. So that is ayuda of evidence to convict a person. Okay, so that is the other term, ayuda of evidence. So enough evidence to convict a person or a particular crime. Very good. So yan yung tinatawag natin na ayuda of evidence. How about naman class, pag tinawag natin na demurrer of evidence? Okay, again, ano naman yung tinatawag natin na demurrer of evidence? Yun ang double check natin para tama. Okay, again, what is the demurrer of evidence naman? Ano man yung tinatawag natin na demurrer of evidence? Demurrer. Okay, so ano naman yung demurrer of evidence or demurrer to evidence? Okay, what is demurrer? Okay, so of course class, pag sinabi natin demurrer to evidence, that is insufficiency. Ang ginagamit doon palagi sa that term or the legal term is the insufficiency or lack of evidence or insufficient evidence. Okay, very good, everyone. So again, pag sinabi natin demurrer of evidence, okay, ibig sabihin lacking or kulang, okay, insufficient or lack of evidence, okay, to convict a person, that is what we call demurrer to evidence. How about naman yung tinatawag natin class na quantum of evidence? Okay, again, ano naman yung tinatawag natin na quantum of evidence? Ano naman yon? Okay, again, what is quantum of evidence? Ano naman yung quantum of evidence natin? Okay, again, what is quantum of evidence? Okay, so very good. So yung iba, pakisagot na. Okay, again, pag sinabi natin quantum of evidence, ibig sabihin yan, that is the, okay, so very good. That is the amount or the weight of evidence needed to convict a person. Yun yung tinatawag natin na quantum of evidence. Of course, meron tayong different quantum of evidence kasi no? Kapag in criminal case, kailangan natin ng proof beyond reasonable doubt, di ba? Again, kapag sa criminal case, kailangan natin ngayon ng proof beyond reasonable doubt. Ibig sabihin, kailangan natin ng enough proof or evidence, okay, di ba, to convict a person in a particular crime. So yun yung tinatawag natin na quantum of evidence. Again, in criminal case, kailangan natin ng proof beyond reasonable doubt. Ibig sabihin, hindi natin basta-basta i-convict or hindi basta-basta uh, ibibigyan ng conviction ng judge yung tinatawag natin na accused. Kapag there is no reasonable doubt, ibig sabihin, mag-base siya ngayon sa evidence presented. Okay, yan yung tinatawag natin na proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay, ibig sabihin, based on the enough proof na nakitaan, okay, na nakita ng judge or ng court. Then, pag sinabi naman natin, yan, yung tinatawag natin class na weight and sufficiency of evidence needed to convict a person in a civil case, of course, kailangan natin kapag civil case is the preponderance of evidence. Of course, kailangan natin ng preponderance of evidence. Ibig sabihin, yung sa weight or palakasan o yung sa bigat or preponderance of evidence class. Then, of course, pag sinabi naman natin in administrative cases, kailangan natin ng substantial evidence. Again, pag sinabi natin substantial evidence, that is enough evidence to convict a person. So, yun yung mga tinatawag natin class na quantum of evidence or that is the amount of evidence needed to convict a person in the different criminal or in the different charges. Whether it is in criminal case, kailangan natin ng proof beyond reasonable doubt. Kapag civil case naman, kailangan natin ng preponderance of evidence. Then in an administrative case, kailangan natin ng substantial evidence. Okay? Nakuha? So yun yung mga amount or weight of sufficiency of evidence needed to convict a person. Okay, so yan. Nakuha ba? Nakuha ninyo? Bakit sumobra to? Nakuha ba? Nakuha ba? Okay na? Okay, so I hope it's clear. Clear na daw siguro. Okay, so tanda niyo class. Bakit? Okay, so tanda niyo, lack or sufficient or tinatawag natin na insufficient, lagyan nyo lang yung IN class nagkamali ako or hindi ko nakita. Okay, again, ulitin natin. Pag sinabi nating lack or insufficient evidence or inadequate evidence class, that is tantamount to the dismissal of the case. Tandaan nyo again, pag sinabi nating lack or insufficient or inadequate amount of evidence, that is tantamount to the dismissal of the case. Nakuha? Okay, madidismiss ang kaso class kapag hindi sapat or lacking or inadequate ang evidence natin. So lack or insufficient evidence class is tantamount to the dismissal of the case. Okay? Nakuha ba? Okay na ba? Walang tanong or walang ano? Okay, so yan yung tinatawag. Okay na ba? Sige, proceed tayo sa next slide. Okay. Coach, pag late umattend ng hearing, pwede rin po ba ito ma-dismiss or kung di siya umattend po? Okay, kapag sa, kapag sa criminal procedure, meron naman tayong tinatawag na trial in absentia. Kapag, of course, provided na hindi naman yan serious offense or serious crime, pwede yun. Pero kapag serious, kailangan talaga class yung attendance mo doon. Okay, so yan. Of course, kapag wala ka doon, itutuloy ba? Of course, hindi, diba? So, yun yung pinakaano natin. So, balikan nyo lang sa procedure time. Okay, next slide. Okay, so of course, we have the requisites of admissibility of evidence. So, we already discussed this one kanina. So, we have the relevant evidence. Matatawag natin that the evidence is admissible kapag relevant or basically it is in relation to or it is connected to the facts and issue or it is connected to the case. So, that is relevant. Pag sinabi naman natin competent, ibig sabihin it is not excluded by the rules of court, ibig sabihin, tinatanggap yan ng korte class. So that is a competent evidence. So that's yan yung mga requisites class of the admissibility of evidence. Okay, so nakuha niyo. So that is the requisites of admissibility of evidence. Relevant, relevancy or relevant, and competency or competent evidence. Nakuha? Okay, dito yung gusto kong ma-memorize niyo or ma-master niyo class. Under the classification of evidence, of course, that is the the original of the Cream Coach Philippines. So, dapat ma-master nyo rin to. So, we have the classification of evidence. Kanina actually na-discuss ko to sa inyo, yung sa brief explanation natin or brief summary ng evidence natin. So, we have the DC COMFOR, DC, COMFOR, PRECON, PRESEC, PONY. Okay, so yan yung tinatawag natin na classification of evidence. So, meaning class, yung DC, that is direct and circumstantial evidence. Yung COM naman at core, that is cumulative and corroborative evidence. Nakuha ninyo? Then we have PRECON, we have the prima facie and conclusive evidence. We have the PRISEC, we have the primary evidence and secondary evidence. Okay, then of course we have the positive, dito lang yan guys. We have the positive and negative evidence. Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng phony. So again, ang acronym natin dyan, we have the direct, circumstantial. So we have the DC. Yung COMFOR naman, cumulative and corroborative. PRECON, primary and conclusive. Prima facie and conclusive. PRESEC naman is primary and secondary. Yung phony naman is positive and negative. Okay, so that's why we have the classification of evidence. We have the DC COMFOR, PRECON, PRESEC, phony. Again, ulitin ko. We have the DC COMFOR, PRECON, PRESEC, phony. Ulit-ulitin nyo yung class kapag bago kayo matulog or kapag ilagay nyo sa kung saan kayo nagsa-study. So, ang classification of evidence natin, DC COMFOR, PRECON, PRESEC, phony. So, ano yung classification of evidence na yan, sir? Or DC COMFOR na yan? Of course, we have the direct evidence. Pag sinabi nating direct evidence class, it is given by the direct witness or yung eyewitness class na naka-witness mismo ng crime. Halimbawa, siya mismo, si Mr. A, ang naka-witness na sinasaksak ni Mr. C, si Mr. B. So, yan yung tinatawag natin class na direct evidence. Nakuha nyo? Okay, ibig sabihin, it is given or it is given class by a direct witness or it is given by the eyewitness of the crime. So that is a direct evidence class. So again, natanda niyo dyan sa direct evidence, it is evidence given by direct witness or the eyewitness. Nakuha ba? Then pag sinabi naman nating circumstantial evidence, naka-based yan ngayon on the existence of the particular facts. Okay, again, that is the naka-base yan ngayon on the existence of a particular facts, di ba? Situation or circumstances, di ba? So yan yung tinatawag natin na circumstantial evidence. Kung ganito yan, class, magbigay ako ng scenario para mas maintindihan niyo. Halimbawa, na-rape si Miss A, okay, na-rape siya, tapos ang katawan niya natagpuan doon sa may kakahuyan. Tapos ngayon, nakita ni Mr. C, okay, si Johnny na lumabas doon, galing doon sa kakahuyan, tapos wala ng damit, okay? Tapos nakita naman ng another na kapitbahay na lumabas talaga si Johnny doon sa kakahuyan, okay? Na walang damit. O ibig sabihin, yung existence of a particular facts, pwede nating pagtagpin yun or i-connect natin. O ibig sabihin, there is an existence of a particular facts. Hindi lang siya yung nakakita, marami. Tapos nagtutugma ngayon ang mga ebidensya or mga observation na nakakita. So that's why tinatawag natin yan na circumstantial evidence or that is there is an existence of the particular facts to prove the person na siya yung nag-commit ng crime. Nakuha ba ninyo? So again, ulitin natin. Ang direct evidence, it is given by the direct witness or the eyewitness of the crime. So that is direct evidence. Pag sinabi naman natin circumstantial evidence, naka-base naman ngayon yan on the existence of the particular facts. That's why it is considered circumstantial based on the different situation or based on the different circumstances or the different events na tinatawag natin. Circumstantial evidence class. Nakuha ba? Nasundan ninyo? Nakuha class? Nandyan pa kayo? Okay, so yun yung tinatawag natin na circumstantial evidence. Okay, so I hope clear na yan ha. So baka nakatulog na kayo. Ay, nandito po pala sila. Okay, so yan. Okay, good. Okay, so next tayo, we have the cumulative evidence and corroborative evidence. Dito sa cumulative evidence and corroborative evidence class, tinatawag yan sila class or kinoconsider yan sila na dalawa na additional evidence. Same yan sila. Tinatawag na yan sila na additional evidence. Okay, so yan yung tinatawag natin na okay. So again, pag sinabi natin cumulative evidence and corroborative evidence, they are additional evidence class. Ang tandaan nyo lang class na pag sinabi natin cumulative evidence, yan yung mga evidence or that is the evidence with the same character but proving the same point. Okay, same character but proving the same point. Paano natin malalaman yan, sir? Ano yung example nun? Yung tinatawag natin na cumulative evidence kasi sinabi niya, same character to prove the same point. Halimbawa, yung photograph, para halos parehas yung 10 photograph. So, hindi naman lahat agad-agad or hindi naman lahat-lahat kailangan mo yon or kailangan mo i-present yon sa loob ng korte, di ba? Again, hindi mo yon agad-agad or hindi mo lahat yon pwedeng i-present sa loob ng korte. So, mamimili ka lang ng isa. Kasi nga, it represent naman yung halos lahat or same character to prove the same point. Nakuha niyo? Yan yung tinatawag natin na cumulative evidence. Okay? So yan yung tinatawag natin na cumulative evidence. Ibig sabihin, that is an additional evidence which have the same character that proving the same point. Yan yung cumulative evidence natin, guys. Ang corroborative evidence naman, of course, that is the different character or that is an additional evidence with the different character to prove naman class yung same point, di ba? Halimbawa, yung natagpuan mo class na mga evidence sa loob ng crime scene. Nakita mo doon yung knife na ginamit sa pagpatay, sinaksak siya. Aside from knife, nakita mo yung firearm na ginamit niya rin. Then of course, ang purpose nun or they are kumbaga yung dalawang yung dalawang magkaibang bagay or different character, yung knife and yung firearm, they have the different character plus. But of course, ang purpose nyon, they have the same purpose. To prove yung tinatawag natin na crime of killing. Okay, na pinatay niya talaga yung tao na yon. Okay, so, nasundan ba ninyo? Again, pag sinabi nating corroborative, ibig sabihin, different character to prove the same points. Halimbawa, sinabi ko kanina, sa crime scene or sa locus criminis, natagpuan nyo ngayon doon ang tinatawag natin na firearm and yung knife na ginamit niya sa pagpatay sa tao na yon. Then, yung knife and yung firearm is different character evidence. Ibig sabihin, magkaiba yan sila. Iba yung knife, iba sa ano. But of course, class, ang purpose naman nila is to prove the same point. To establish the guilt or to establish na merong patayan na nangyari. So that is a corroborative evidence. Nasundan ba ninyo? Ulitin natin, pag sinabi natin cumulative evidence, it is any evidence with the same character. Same character class, of course, that's why ang purpose na yon is to prove the same point. Ang corroborative naman, different character to prove the same point pa rin. Ibig sabihin, different nature sila or magkaiba silang evidence. But ang pinaka-purpose nila class is to prove the same point or to solve the same issue or to solve the same case. Yun yung tinatawag natin na corroborative evidence. Nakuha ba? Then, of course, we have the prima facie evidence and, of course, conclusive evidence. So, i-differentiate natin ano yung distinction ng dalawa na to class. So, we have the prima facie and conclusive evidence. Ang prima facie class, ibig sabihin, it can stand alone. Okay? Ito yung mga ebidensya that can stand alone and uncontradicted. Ibig sabihin, it is sufficient to maintain the proposition affirmed. Again, ulitin natin, ang prima facie, it can stand alone and uncontradicted. Halimbawa, pagpunta mo sa crime scene, nakita mo yung dead body or yung katawan ng patay na tao, nakita mo yon, so it is a prima facie evidence of a crime of homicide or killing. So, di ba, ibig sabihin, it can stand alone na merong killing or merong homicide case na nangyari. So, yun yung tinatawag natin na prima facie. It is any kinds of evidence that can stand alone and uncontradicted, then it is sufficient or it is sapat class to maintain or to support the proposition affirmed or yung side mo. So, yan yung tinatawag natin na prima facie evidence. Okay, nakuha ba? So, again, ang prima facie evidence, it can stand alone. Okay, so nakita mo yung dead body sa crime scene. So, basically, it can stand alone or it is uncontradicted na merong nangyaring crime ng homicide or killing. So, nakuha ba? So, that is the prima facie evidence. Okay? So, yan. Then, ang conclusive evidence naman, tandaan nyo, ang conclusive evidence, it is any evidence that the law does not allow to be contradicted. Again, ulitin natin, ang conclusive evidence and any evidence that the law does not allow to be contradicted, ibig sabihin, kaya nga, it is conclusive. Ang best example for conclusive evidence is the DNA. So it is conclusive kasi the result of the DNA is beyond question. Kasi nga 99.9% accurate or 100%, di ba? To be exact, accurate ang ano natin, ang DNA. Pag sinabi niya na papa mo yan, papa po talaga yan. Kapag mama, mama mo yan, di ba? So of course, that is conclusive. Ibig sabihin, yun yung mga evidence class na ang batas natin or the law does not allow it to be contradicted. Hindi pwedeng kontrahin kasi nga, halimbawa, ang DNA, the result of the DNA is uncontradicted or the result of the DNA is beyond question. How about naman yung tinatawag natin yung fingerprint? Matatawag ba natin class ang fingerprint as conclusive? Okay, of course class, pwede rin, papasok rin ang fingerprint class sa conclusive. Okay? Ibig sabihin, does not allow to be contradicted. Pero kung titingnan natin yung sa accuracy, mas talaga class, mas reliable or yung pangalawa na lang ang fingerprint class sa DNA. Mas mauna si DNA kasi talaga si DNA. The result of the DNA is beyond question, followed by the fingerprint. Of course, class, ang fingerprint natin, kahit sabihin natin na twin sila or identical twin sila, our fingerprint may be similar on some points, but it will never be identical. May mga pagkakaparehas lang or on some points, but hindi talaga yan sila talaga totally pareho. Okay? Kaya that's why, ang tawag natin doon, is yung ano natin. So that is the DNA or yung ano natin, then fingerprint, papasok rin yan sa conclusive. O ibig sabihin, those are the evidence that the law does not allow to be contradicted. Okay? So yun yung conclusive evidence. Okay, so ano po ang other term na conclusive evidence? Expert evidence po ba? Expert evidence, parang hindi ko na-encounter, pero stick na lang tayo sa conclusive. In case na ano, tingnan natin kung expert evidence. Pero conclusive lang. Doon muna kayo mag-stick. So again, conclusive evidence, any evidence that the law does not allow to be contradicted. Okay, so kahit identical class, kahit identical twin kayo, yung ating DNA, yung ating DNA strands, magkaiba yan. Okay? So magkaiba yung DNA strands natin. Same as true sa fingerprint. Kahit identical twins kayo, may mga similarities lang when it comes to points ng mga fingerprints natin or kapag identical twin kayo. But hindi yan talaga totally identical. There are similarities but it will never be identical. Never be the same. Kasi nga, di ba, meron tayong tinatawag na principle of individuality. All fingerprints are unique. Okay, unique type. So, of course, we have the primary evidence class and the secondary evidence. Ito naman yung explain natin. So, pre-sec, no? Pre-sec na tayo. So, we have, of course, madali lang to class ang primary evidence and secondary evidence. Ang primary evidence, ibig sabihin, ang question doon class is the document itself. So, ano yung hinahanap natin sa primary evidence? Ang hinahanap natin sa primary evidence class is the original document or the document itself. So again, that is the what we call the primary evidence. Ibig sabihin, yung original, di ba? May makakapantay ba sa original? Of course, wala, di ba? Okay, so walang makakapantay sa original. So again, ang primary evidence or the document itself, yan yung una nating titingnan. Of course, ang primary or tinatawag rin natin minsan yan na best evidence or papasok yan sa best evidence rule. Ibig sabihin nun, yung best evidence rule natin, okay, bakit maraming makarelate na walang nakapantay sa original? Of course, walang makapantay sa original. Original nga eh, kaya yun yung tinatawag natin ng ano natin. Yan yung, ano na, wait lang, class. Para na ano yung boses natin. Okay, so baka may mag-react, no? Okay, of course, class, wala talaga makakapantay sa original. Kaya nga, meron tayong tinatawag na primary evidence. Kaya maraming hugot talaga ang classification of evidence eh. Maraming pwedeng i-connect dyan. So again, ang primary evidence, tinatawag rin natin yan minsan class na best evidence. Okay, again, ang primary evidence, tinatawag natin na best evidence kasi papasok yan or applicable yan sa tinatawag natin na the best evidence tool. Okay. Okay, mabuti no, na-inform ako ni Martin. Sige, mamaya gagawa natin 'yan. Marami na ako naiisip eh. Mabuti na ano, mabuti pumunta tayo sa classification of evidence. Maraming pugot na naman eh. Kasi buhay na buhay ang mga estudyante, lalo na sa mga ano sa online or sa face-to-face na review ko. Kapag ganun yung mga banat mo, i-connect mo doon, buhay na buhay sila. Gusto nila ayaw na umuwi eh. Kasi marami silang pugot doon. Lalo na sa primary or yung sa classification of evidence. Diba? Primary evidence, of course, the document itself, ang hinahanap, or the best evidence. Okay? Of course, class, there is a greater certainty, ibig sabihin, under the law or under the rules of evidence or under the rules of court, ang evidence or ang best evidence lang or ang original talaga, class, ang may pinakamataas na points na binibigay, di ba? So, the document itself. Sorry. Okay, kailan na ngayon, class, lalabas or kailan na ngayon mag-a-appear si secondary evidence? Of course, class, 'di ba? Yung mga ano daw, yung mga kabit, 'di ba? Mag-a-appear lang sila in the absence of what we call secondary evidence. Substituted, kaya 'di ba? Substitute lang sila. Substituted evidence, 'di ba? In the absence of the original, mag-a-appear ngayon yung tinatawag natin na secondary evidence. Sabi nila, ano daw eh, yung mga number two. Okay, so yan, baka number two kayo or worse, number four pa. Basta importante, pasok kayo sa top 5. Sabi nila. Yung iba, sabi niya, sir, number 3 ako, hindi ko alam, 5 pala kami. Pero okay lang kasi pasok naman ako sa top 5. Okay? So, sabi niya. So, maraming banat yun doon sa ano eh. Kasi okay lang daw, basta nakapasok siya sa top 5. Hindi niya alam kasi 5 daw silang pinagsabay at least. Okay? So, common law evidence. Walang common law evidence. Again, ulitin natin. Ang secondary evidence or yung tinatawag natin na substituted, mag-a-appear yan ng class or mag-a-appear lang yan or magta-transpired. Kaya nga tinawag siya na inferior. Mas makapangyarihan pa rin or mas mataas pa rin ang value na binibigay natin sa original. Kaya nga na ba? Kaya di ba walang makakapantay or walang substitute ang original. Okay? So yan yung tinatawag natin class na substituted evidence. Ibig sabihin, it is inferior to primary evidence. Mas mataas pa rin si primary or yung document itself or yung original document. Magta-transpired lang ngayon or mag-occur. Ibig sabihin, mag-takes place lang ngayon si secondary evidence in the absence of the original document or in the absence of primary evidence. Nakuha ba? Okay, nakuha na ninyo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so again, tandaan niyo class, kahit saan pa kayo pumunta, walang makapantay sa original document. Then kung original kayo, wala ring makapantay sa inyo, di ba? So yun yung ano natin, number one rule natin class. Walang makapantay sa original document kasi siya yung binibigyan ng korte ng greatest certainty or higher certainty or higher value. Okay, magta-transpired lang si substituted evidence or si substitutionary evidence in the absence of the latter or in the absence of the primary evidence. Kaya sinabi niya, it is inferior to the what we call primary evidence, ang secondary. Kasi nga mag-a-appear lang naman siya kapag absent ang tinatawag natin class na primary evidence. Kung kapag hindi absent or nandyan si primary evidence, of course wala siyang magagawa, di ba? Kasi ang ano pa rin, ang priority pa rin is the primary evidence. Okay? So nakuha ba? Okay, so di ba ang daming relate dito eh. So kaya i-check nyo kung original kayo. So that is primary and secondary evidence. Okay? Primary, document itself. Secondary, that is what we call inferior or substituted evidence. Okay? So nakuha? Nakuha na class? Okay, so yan. Dapat always primary kayo palagi. Okay? So yan. Hindi yung sabihin mo, okay lang, pasok ka naman sa top 3. Okay, kasi 5 daw kayo, 3 kayo, 'di ba? 'Yun yung sinagot ng estudyante ko eh. Okay, hindi ko alam sir, 3 pala kayo o 5. Kaya importante pumasok daw siya sa top 3. Okay, so ayan, sana wag 'yun mangyari sa inyo or dapat hindi 'yun reality, no? Okay, so yan. Mamaya yung ulitin natin. Okay, then of course we have the positive evidence and negative evidence. So ang dito merong sinabi ni Victor, original talaga, close my duplicate na at evening, sir. Morning, afternoon, Okay, so dapat siguraduhin nyo yan, ha? Okay, explain natin, class, what is positive evidence and negative evidence. Okay, ang positive evidence, of course, that is any evidence that affirms the occurrence of an event or a fact. So, ang positive evidence, ganito lang yan, class. So, it affirms the occurrence or events or facts, that is the positive evidence. Ibig sabihin, pinoprove niya ngayon or ina-affirm niya ngayon, class, that the things or yung pangyayari na yon does exist or that the certain event happened. Okay, ulitin natin. Yung positive, it affirms the occurrence of event or fact. Ibig sabihin, ina-argue niya ngayon, class, or ina-affirm niya ngayon na yung event na yon nag-exist talaga or yung certain event na yon nag-transpire talaga or nangyari. Halimbawa, siya ba yung sumaksak or siya ba yung bumarel? Of course, affirm. Nakita ko. Siya talaga. It affirms or it is positive. Kaya nga, na nangyari yon, nasaksihan niya. So that is a positive evidence. It affirms the occurrence of the event or it affirms that the event or that particular event truly exists or transpired. So that is a positive evidence. Nakita ko, na obserbahan ko, or na I observe or nalaman ko kung sino yung nagbugbog sa kanya or sino yung pumatay sa kanya. Yan yung tinatawag natin na positive evidence. Ang negative evidence naman, class, it denies the occurrence of an event or fact. So kapag, class, ang negative evidence, dineny niya ngayon yung occurrence of event or facts. Ibig sabihin yun, sinasabi niya, he or she did not see or did not witness yung pangyayari, class, of a certain facts. Again, ulitin natin. Sa negative evidence, dininay niya ngayon ang occurrence of event or facts. Ibig sabihin, hindi niya na-witness yung patayan or yung bubugan or yung ano yun, yung sinaksak ng pagkasaksak. So yun yung tinatawag natin ng negative evidence. It denies the occurrence of the facts na the person does not witness or doesn't see yung tinatawag natin class na occurrence of a certain facts. Okay? So, uh, yung sa direct evidence, parang nagkalapit mo sila paano yung para di pumalit. Okay, so ganito class. Ang sa direct evidence naman kasi, it is given by a direct witness or eyewitness class. Of course, na ano na yan, na nakita niya na or siya mismo or magagaling mismo sa naka-witness ng crime. Halimbawa, ako yung nakita na binubugbog niya or sinasakshot niya, of course, matatawag ako class as a direct witness or eyewitness. Ako mismo ang naka-witness, tama? Direct witness or direct evidence. So, yun yung direct evidence. Ang negative naman, pag tinanong siya ngayon, halimbawa ng police or ng mga authorities natin, nakita mo ba? Ay, hindi ko pa nakita kasi wala ako during the commission of the crime. Okay, that is negative evidence. Positive, pag tinanong siya, o nakita mo ba? Yes, nakita ko. Meron talagang nangyari that ganun sino yung pumatay, sino yung nag-execute na ganon. So that is positive. Ibig sabihin, it affirms the occurrence of the event na meron talagang nangyaring krimen or meron talagang nangyaring ganon. Okay, that is a positive evidence. Okay, ulitin natin. So we have the direct evidence. Ang direct evidence, it is given by the direct witness or the eyewitness of the crime. Ino-offer yan mismo. Okay, ibig sabihin, kapag nag-witness ka doon class sa loob ng korte, tapos ikaw yung naka-witness mismo sa pangyayari, tatawagin ka as eyewitness or direct witness. Ang testimony mo class is tinatawag natin yan na direct evidence. Kasi nga, hindi mo lang yon narinig sa iba, ikaw mismo ang naka-witness. Okay? So yan yung tinatawag natin na direct witness, direct evidence or actual case or actual na pangyayari ang na-witness mo. So that is direct evidence. Ang circumstantial evidence, there is an existence of the particular fact. Yung kanina, yung hindi nakaabot or yung mga ano natin, ibig sabihin matatawag natin na circumstantial class. Ibig sabihin different situation or different event. Sinabi ko kanina, nung na-rape si Miss A, tapos si Mr. B, nakita niya ngayon na lumabas si Johnny doon sa may kakahuyan, tapos walang saplot or walang damit. So that is one event. Tapos naman, yung kapitbahay na si Junisha, nakita niya ngayon si Johnny na palabas rin galing doon o galing doon sa may kakahuyan kung saan natagpuan ang katawan ni Miss A. So yung certain fact na yon or certain facts na yon class, pwede natin yun makonect or tagpiin natin, okay, na may ganon. So, ibig sabihin, there is a certain facts or there is an existence of a particular fact na magpapatunay na si Johnny ang gumawa noon kay Miss A. Nakuha ninyo? Ibig sabihin, yung facts na nakita ni Junisha at nakita ni Mr. A, so sapat na yon or yan yung tinatawag natin class na circumstantial evidence. Okay, pagdating sa korte, nakita mo ba? Okay, yes, yes, judge. Nakita mo rin, ganitong oras? Yes, judge. Kapag nagtugma yun, or posible na matatawag natin yung judge, na circumstantial evidence. Ibig sabihin, there is an existence of the particular facts to prove that the particular crime exists or happened. Then that person must probably guilty of that particular crime. Nakuha nyo? Nakuha nyo na ba yung circumstantial case? Okay, nakuha ba? So, para clear tayo. Then, of course, we have the cumulative evidence and corroborative evidence. I already discussed that one kanina, so ulitin ko. Sa cumulative, halimbawa, kasi ang cumulative and corroborative evidence, they are considered as additional evidence. So, ang cumulative, halimbawa, yung photographs na nakuha nyo, pare-parehas na naman yung 10 photograph, so same character. So, ang ipipresent mo lang ngayon, yung isang photograph na parehas lang naman. Yung isa, yung one na yon or yung same character na evidence na yon, ang purpose lang naman yon is to prove the same point. Okay? So, that is the cumulative. Ang corroborative evidence naman, class, so halimbawa, sa loob ng locus criminis or the crime scene class in Latin, di ba? Pagpasok mo doon, nakita mo yung dead body, nakita mo yung firearm, nakita mo yung knife. So magkaibang ano yan sila, magkaibang character na evidence. Iba yung knife sa firearm, of course, class, they have the different character na evidence. Pero ang purpose lang nila, yung knife and yung tinatawag natin na firearm is to prove the same point, yung killing or yung patayan. So that's why it is considered as corroborative. Magkaiba man yung nature ng mga evidence na nakita doon sa loob ng korte, ay sa loob ng crime scene rather. But of course, ang purpose ng nila is to prove the same point o yung tinatawag na rin na crime of homicide or killing. So that is the corroborative evidence. Ang cumulative and corroborative additional evidence na sila, kapag cumulative, same character, corroborative, different character, but of course, ang purpose nila is to prove the same point. Nakuha ba? Okay, so yun yung cumulative and corroborative evidence. Pag sinabi naman nating prima facie evidence lang, it can stand alone and the law and uncontradicted. So, ibig sabihin, sapat na yan to maintain and to affirm the proposition. So, halimbawa, kapag may namatay or yung dead body, of course, matatawag natin na there is a crime of homicide or there's a killing kasi it can stand alone. Okay, tapos halimbawa, pagpasok mo sa crime scene, uh, hawak niya yung yung bolo, tapos duguan, tapos dalawa lang sila doon sa crime scene or sa room na yon. So, it is a prima facie, it can stand alone na siya yung gumawa ng krimen na yon. Of course, there is a follow-up or there is a process naman or due process naman sa loob ng korte na ipagtanggol ang sarili niya na hindi siya yung gumawa noon. Okay, of course, but is under the classification of evidence, it is a prima facie evidence. It can stand alone. Pagpasok mo, hawak niya yung firearm, tapos yung tao nakabulagta, tapos duguan, namatay, so dalawa lang sila, posible na siya yung gumawa ng krimen, di ba? It can stand alone and uncontradicted unless na lang na ma-prove niya sa loob ng korte. That is prima facie evidence. Nawa? Then, pag sinabi natin conclusive, ibig sabihin that the law does not allow to be contradicted or sinabi ko kanina, example doon is the DNA. Kasi ang result of the DNA is beyond question. Okay? So, beyond question class, same as true with fingerprint, di ba? Kahit identical twin kayo, identical twin kayo class, ang DNA strands natin, magkaiba talaga yan. Okay? Walang pong makaparehas ha. Same as true sa fingerprint. We have the different or we have unique fingerprints na tinatawag natin. So that's why it is considered as conclusive evidence. So that is the evidence that the law does not allow to be contradicted. That is conclusive. Okay niyo? Then of course, we have the primary and secondary. Ang primary, ibig sabihin class, that is the best evidence rule natin or the best evidence. Ibig sabihin, ang hinahanap natin as much as possible is the original document or the document itself. Kapag primary class, of course, class, siya yung pinakamataas. Mag-i-exist lang sa secondary evidence kapag in the absence of, ano natin class. Prima facie, sir, ito ba yun yung tinatawag na presumption of evidence? Hindi. Iba yung presumption of evidence natin. Mamaya or bukas ma-explain natin yon. So again, ang primary evidence, that is the document itself or the what they call the best evidence rule or papasok din yung best evidence rule. Ibig sabihin, kailangan natin i-present yung original document. Okay? So that is the document itself. So there is siya yung binibigyan ng highest grade or highest value or certainty sa loob ng korte class. Kasi nga, original siya. Okay? Then of course, we have the secondary evidence. Ang secondary evidence naman that is inferior or less na makapangyarihan kay primary evidence kasi nga substituted lang siya or substitute lang siya in the absence of the primary evidence. Nakuha nyo? Then of course, we have the positive evidence and negative evidence. Positive evidence, the person affirms the occurrence of the events or the facts na the person really witness or does witness last na the existence of a particular events or the event really happened. Okay? So yan yung tinatawag natin class na positive evidence. And of course, we have the negative evidence. Ang negative evidence, so ibig sabihin, of course, it denies the occurrence of the event or the fact. So yan yung tinatawag natin class na negative evidence. So yan. Okay. Oh, yes, yes. Pwede rin niyang papasok doon, birth to the. So kapag halimbawa, nakita niya yung tao na yun na pumatay, tapos nung tinanong siya, sabi niya hindi niya nakita, papasok rin yan sa negative evidence. So of course, there is a corresponding additional cases, okay, pagdating sa na nagsinungaling siya. So yun, papasok rin yun sa negative evidence. O halimbawa, kahit sabihin natin na nakita niya, tapos sabihin niya, ay, hindi ko na witness. Tapos hindi niya naman nakita, sabihin niya, ay, positive, na witness ko. Papasok pa rin yan sa positive evidence. It affirms the occurrence of an event or a fact. At the end of the day, of course, at the end of the, nasa korte pa rin yan to solve yung tinatawag natin, class, na kung sino ang may sala or sino yung wala. Okay, that is the classification of evidence. So, ayan. Okay. So, again, dito sa positive evidence and negative evidence class, sabihin natin positive evidence, pwede niya sabihin, kahit hindi niya naman na-witness, okay, sabihin niya, oo, na-witness ko, di ba? Pwede yung papasok yan sa positive. Kapag negative, kahit na-witness niya naman, i-deny niya ngayon, papasok rin yan sa negative. Of course, nasa korte na yan, class, kung magkakaalaman na kung nagsisinungaling ba siya o nagsasabi ba siya ng totoo. So that is the classification of evidence. So actually, based on the new TOS course sa 2024, actually parang na natin na-explain na natin halos lahat doon, di ba? So kaya, of course, wala nang problema dito sa evidence. So, bukas class, natin, ay titingnan ko bukas kung magkaklase tayo. Konti na lang actually yung, yung coverage ng, natin, ng evidence na hindi pa na-discuss. Pero na-discuss na natin yung pinaka, definition of evidence, yung mga preponderance, yung classification of evidence, yun yung pinakamarami. So, i-discuss natin ulit, okay, sa mga next na discussion natin. Isang na lang, isang meeting na lang sa evidence tapos na natin. So, marami naliwanagan pa kayo ngayon sa kinds of evidence and documentary. Okay ba? Naiintindihan nyo na yung kinds and documentary class? Okay, so ayan. Medyo sumakit yung ulo ko pala kasi hindi para tayo nakainom ng tubig or hindi. Tuloy-tuloy pala yung 2 hours na discussion natin. Ayan. So, ganun lang kasimple class ang tinatawag natin na yung natin yung lalo-lalo na sa evidence kasi very yan eh. Pero sa evidences konti lang naman sana daw sundin nila ang TOS pagdating sa August 2024 kung sundin talaga nila ang TOS bullseye na, di ba? Wala ka ng problema kasi na-discuss na natin halos lahat. Wala na siyang pupuntahan. Okay? So, ginawang dinner ang So, ang importante class na clarify na lalong-lalo na doon sa documentary evidence, existence and content, di ba? Dati nagpo-content ako ng ganon or yung in-explain ko yung ganon yung bago ako sa TikTok, maraming doon, maraming tumasang kilay. Ano yung sinasabi nito? Na kapag existence, object, kapag content is documentary. Tapos nung nakita nila, binasa nila ulit ang rules of court, ay tama naman pala. Tama naman pala yung sinasabi nila. Kasi ang nakasanayan nila daw, pag sabi salita, pag nagsalita ka, testimonial na okay na. Pag nagsulat ka, documentary, which is mali, di ba? Kasi nga hindi na-interpret ng maayos yung terms of similar acts as evidence rule, naglabas yung Rest Inter Alius Acta. Maganda. Sige, natin yan, i-discuss natin yan sa next. Nandito yan sa mga next natin na presentation class. Isang na lang, isang meet na lang natin sa evidence, matatapos na natin. Yung mga natitira na mga na hindi nakalagay sa TOS, i-discuss pa rin natin para mas maintindihan niyo. In case na ang TOS na sunodin nila, na-discuss naman natin na kapag in case na hindi sila kukuha sa TOS na bago, safe pa rin kasi alam nyo na na-discuss natin halos lahat doon. Okay, so actually class, yung mga tawag nito, yung mga nagte-take ng board exam for how many for how many tawag nito,